Auf Wiedersehen. I mean,
that means goodbye.
I mean, guten Morgen.
Guten Morgen.
Guten Tag. Guten Morgen. Guten Abend if it's the evening. Look, we speak German.
Kinda. I remember some from high school.
We know 6 words of German because we studied it for 2 years in high school. That's kind of scary. But how many times have you been to Germany since high school?
Once.
Oh, well, that's good.
Yeah.
I went to Germany before I learned German, which is not a good idea. How was your trip to Germany, and did you use your German?
I did use my German. I used it a little bit when I was in Munich at the beer house. That was really fun because we were trying to order stuff and like...
That's cultural.
Yeah, there was a huge parade going on, and so neat. Everybody was like in the streets and dancing and stuff. It was awesome.
So it wasn't just about drinking
beer. No.
It was cultural.
It was very cultural.
Good for you. Good.
Yeah. Yep. And then also, we went to Heidelberg, a few different really cool places. Very pretty.
That's neat. We went to Dusseldorf. And whenever I've told a German person, they always go, why did you go to Dusseldorf?
I was just going to say, why did you go there?
The only thing I remember is we couldn't read anything. I was with my parents, and my father was very brave. He got up, he walked around the restaurant pointing at people's food and going, like, is it good? And we actually ate some really good food and made some friends, but it was really embarrassing when I was a kid. But there you go, adventures in Germany. And here we have another place we're going to be talking about for today and tomorrow to add to your list, add to our list, add to everyone's list of where to go, what to do in Germany. We're going to be visiting, you can say this in your wonderful German accent.
Oh, Freiburg.
Freiburg. That was really good.
Is it?
You're almost a Freiburger.
Okay.
That would be a person from Freiburg, right? And it's a cultural, the cultural treasure of the Black Forest. So it sounds good. I guess they're going to have chocolate cake there, and we're going to find out all about it. So let's get to it. Guten Tag. Auf Wiedersehen.
Tschüss is the short.
Oh,
bye.
Tschüss.
Tschüss.
Tschüss. Yes, Tschüss.
Imagine getting happily lost among winding stone alleys in beautiful sunny weather, with a striking church stretching high above you and the sound of running water all around. If that seems like a perfect day to you, Freiburg should be on your travel list. Freiburg is located just on the edge of Germany's famous Black Forest, somewhat far from other German cities, but very close to the borders of both France and Switzerland. Known for some of the best weather in the country, it's surrounded by green mountains and has a river that runs right through the middle of town. The river is a popular place for taking a dip to cool off on hot summer days.
All right, so yes, I am Herr Michael.
Und ich bin Sam.
You're Sam, I'm Michael, that's our names, there you go. And yes, we're learning about Freiburg, the cultural treasure of the Black Forest. Now, Freiburg is a town in this area. The Black Forest is kind of an area, right, of Germany. And
it's like the southwest area of Germany.
Okay, and it's got a beautiful forest, but also I think a lot of these old, beautiful cities are in the Black Forest area. So if you're a tourist in Germany and you have any time at all, you definitely need to take at least a couple of days or a week to explore the Black Forest region of Germany. So let's get to our article and learn about Freiburg. What does that mean?
Well, Freiburg actually means, the first part, Frei, means free.
Free, okay.
Yes, and then Berg comes from...
Town?
Yeah,
city?
It's similar to like the English word borough, like this kind of like town.
Okay.
Incorporated town, that kind of thing.
I see. So it's basically Free Town or something like that. Free City, that's the name. And we're also going to learn just how lovely it is starting now. It says, imagine getting happily lost among winding stone alleys in beautiful sunny weather with a striking church stretching high above you and the sound of running water all around.
Ooh, that
sounds like my house.
I wish. That's very descriptive.
It does,
It
yeah.
paints a very beautiful picture of this town already.
Lovely spring, summer weather. I got this wonderful old church. I'm happily getting lost. That's kind of as a tourist, right? You go to a place and you're wandering. You don't really know where you are. You're not looking at your GPS just because everywhere you go, it's really nice.
Yeah.
And you're exploring all these little alleys and finding all these little shops, and you're just having a wonderful time.
Yes, and so we had this word alley. Alley is a noun, and it just means like a small road or path that's usually between buildings or maybe behind a building. And so you've got your main roads, but then you might need to turn off and go into an alley to find maybe a cute little cafe or a little local shop, that kind of thing, down in these alleyways.
Exactly.
And so Taiwan has a lot of alleys.
They do, yeah. They're smaller than streets and roads. Here we also have lanes and then alleys. And I mean, an alley, sometimes you couldn't even get a car to go down an alley. It might be so small.
Yes, I have gotten stuck one time in Taiwan and had to back out of the alley. That was not a fun thing.
Okay, and often in North America, the alley will be behind the building, and people might put their garbage cans out there or park their car, but you wouldn't find a lot of traffic on an alley. And of course, in Europe, many of these old cities have narrow roads, and we would call that an alley.
Yes, and so then our example sentence for alley is, the police officer chased the thief into a narrow alley. So the thief was running away, and then he tried to, cut down an alley.
Right.
But the police officer found him, so.
You can imagine him throwing a garbage can, and there's a cat running across there, and it's, kind of dark and a little scary in this narrow alley. All right, well, we have lovely alleys in this beautiful German town, so it's not the place you'd see a police chase or a police officer. Back to the article, if this sort of scene we created, if that seems like a perfect day to you, Freiburg should be on your travel list.
Yes, and then it continues, Freiburg is located just on the edge of Germany's famous Black Forest. Somewhat far from other German cities, but very close to the borders of both France and Switzerland.
Okay, so southern Germany, France, Switzerland, far from other places, that's where it's located. But the good thing is Germany has a great train system.
Yeah.
So really getting around the country is not a problem. But if you're trying to locate Freiburg on a map or using GPS, now you know what part of Germany to look in. And yeah, to locate something is to find it, and where something is located is where we find it, where it is placed on a map in the world or something like that. For example, the gym is located on the first floor. That's where it is.
Probably nice, then you don't have to climb upstairs and work out.
Good point.
Then we can continue with our reading with the next part that says, known for some of the best weather in the country, it's surrounded by green mountains and has a river that runs right through the middle of the town.
Cool. The river is a popular place for taking a dip to cool off on hot summer days. And I guess they have a lot of nice hot summer days because we learned it has some of the best weather in Germany. So that's great. I guess a little nicer, a little sunnier, less rain in the summer, and maybe not so cold in the winter. But you would definitely want to wait till the summer before you took a dip in the river, because it would be cold and icy and very dangerous and silly to take a dip in a river in the winter. Because a dip is when you go swimming kind of quickly, all right? So you're not in the water for a long time. You're not a professional athlete working out for an hour as you practice your speed and things like that. No, you're hot. You're at the beach. It's a hot summer day, and you jump in the water for a little bit. You cool down. You play around with your friends, but maybe just 5 or 10 minutes, something like that. A quick workout, maybe at the local gym, you might say, but not a long time. This is a quick time in the water. Before eating lunch, we went for a quick dip in the lake to cool off. Very refreshing.
Yeah, especially if you're sitting outside in the sun for a long time.
For sure,
cool
or
down.
wandering around Freiburg,
Yes.
for example. Let's take a break, and then we'll be back with more from Freiburg.
Hello， 大家好，我是 Hanny。这次要介绍的旅游地点是德国的城市 Freiburg 弗莱堡。 那么 Sam 老师提到说，在德文里面啊，这个 burg 就有一点类似英文里面的 borough，borough，borough 可以用来指自治市政的意思。好，那么课文一开始要我们想象在风光明媚、在阳光明媚的天气里面呢，在蜿蜒的石板小巷里面开心的迷路，然后一座吸引人注目的这种教堂耸立在你的头顶上，然后四周都可以听得到流水声，哇，这个画面是不是很迷人呢？老师说这段文字相当的 descriptive， 我们听一下 descriptive，descriptive 就是形容是有描述性的。好，那么弗莱堡它是位于德国著名的黑森林边缘，它离德国其他城市有一点远，但是非常靠近法国和瑞士边境。那边的好天气啊，是德国数一数二的哦。然后周围有着山脉环绕，还有一条河流穿过城镇中间。这条河就是夏天游泳消暑很受欢迎的地方。好，来看单字 alley。Alley 它是表达小巷、巷道。那么 locate 或是念作 locate 这个动词，它表示使什么位于哪里、坐落在哪里，常常用被动语态表示。再来看 dip。Dip 在这边当名词，可以用来指说可能是短时间的那种游泳、泡水的意思。那这边两个重点，我们进入文法时间。好，我们来看第一个重点是 imagine， 它是指想象，后面可以接名词、接动名词，或者是接由 that 或是 that 疑问词所引导的名词子句。举例来说 ，It's hard to imagine what it would be like to live on another planet。好难想象住在别的星球会是什么样子哦。好，第二个重点是 with 加受词加受词补语，是用来表达附带状况或是原因。那这个受词补语，你可以用介系词片语，用形容词，或者是用现在分词 VING 或是过去分词 PP。那我们要用分词当受词补语的话，你就是从受词跟受词补语之间的关系去判断，主动就用现在分词 VING， 被动就用过去分词 PP。来看两个例句。Kate walked in with a book in her hand. Kate 走进来，手里拿着一本书。那我们再看一个例句。With so many people watching him sing, he couldn't help but feel nervous. 有这么多人在看他唱歌，他忍不住紧张了起来。好，那我们接着回到课文中。
The city was founded around 900 years ago as a market town.People came there to trade freely, and the locals' relative wealth made them proud and independent. They have a history of standing up for their personal freedoms and even destroyed the Lord's castle in the 13th century when he tried to raise taxes. After a university was established in the city in 1457, it became a cultural center for the arts and sciences, a status it still maintains
today.Okay, so we have been talking about Freiburg and how it's a nice place to visit. It has good weather and rivers and all this kind of very pretty stuff. So let's see, what else does it have? So we have the next part of the reading. It goes, the city was founded around 900 years ago as a market town.People came there to trade freely, and the locals' relative wealth made them proud and independent, which I think is part of why the name is Freiburg. It's like this city of free citizens who made their own money, and they didn't really want to be ruled by anybody, and they kind of like, you know, did their own thing a little bit.
Interesting, because like a lot of European countries, Germany back then wasn't really one big country. It was like kingdoms and princes and lords, and I guess no one really got control of Freiburg. They're like, nope, you can come and do business here. It's a market town, but we're not going to be, you know, following any kingdom or, you know, following the rules of some prince. We want our independence.
Yeah, they had like a few rulers throughout that whenever they tried to make things a little bit more, hey, we're going to tax you more, you have less independence, and they kind of rebelled against that. So they were quite like, no, this is the way our town is.
Interesting. Yeah, well, actually, as the article continues, it tells us they, that means the people of Freiburg, they have a history of standing up for their personal freedoms and even destroyed the Lord's castle in the 13th century when he tried to raise taxes.
Yes.
Wow, these are tough people. So there was a prince, a lord there. He had power, probably knights and soldiers and stuff. And he said, I'm going to tax you more. And they said, okay, and we're going to destroy your castle. So they did.
Yeah, it's like, if you do that, then you're not going to have a place to live. And then they destroyed it. And so we had this word destroy, which is a verb that means to completely break, demolish, get rid of, just. So if this was like, for example, the Lord's castle and they destroyed it, they probably broke down walls. They probably, maybe they burned some of the furniture or things inside. They completely destroyed it.
They didn't just damage it, they completely wrecked it. They killed that castle.
Yeah, when things are destroyed, you can't usually go back and use them. You'd have to rebuild them.
Like after an earthquake or something.
Yeah. And so we've got this example sentence that says, during the war, bomb attacks destroyed many buildings in the village. And so, again, they are destroyed. You can't just go back and use them. You'd have to totally rebuild them.
Exactly. We usually use this term, of course, for things. We wouldn't say you destroy a person or something like that. You might, but, you know, more like we would use kill or something.
Yes.
But when we talk about things or places, buildings, yeah, they are destroyed. And then what happened after the prince or the lord moved on?
Well, then, if we continue with our reading, we have after a university was established in the city in 1457, it became a cultural center for the arts and sciences, a status it still maintains today.
Very interesting. So even, what, 500-600 years ago, they had universities there. It was a place of learning, probably libraries, and students would go there. It was established not only as a market town, but also as a center of culture and learning and intellect and all that kind of stuff. When we establish something, basically you set something up, right? You're the first person to have an idea. You might get other people's help to do something, but you build something, you start something. We often use this word, maybe not like I established a house. No, you build a house, but a business, an organization, a charity, something like that. The United Nations was established after World War II. The Red Cross was established first to help people hurt in wars, and now it of course collects blood and does things who need help. So when did these things first start, or why were they first started, or who started it? It was established in, it was established by, it was established for, something like that. That's why it was started. For example, Mr. Carter established the organization after he saw the level of poverty in the region. So here we're talking about establishing a charity or something like that.
Yes.
All right, well, let's establish that it's time to end our article for today. We're going to set that up. We're going to create it. It's true. That is a fact, unfortunately, but we will be back tomorrow to learn more about Freiburg.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Bye. Oh, yeah, now we can say it. Auf Wiedersehen. Do people say bye-bye in Germany?
They say tschüss.
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 Auf Wiedersehen. How about see you tomorrow? See you tomorrow.
I forgot.
See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
弗莱堡这个城市建于大约900年前，那么当时是个集镇，就是人们会来这边进行自由贸易，而当地人呢，他们相对财富就让他们感到很自豪，而且是独立的。他们过去就常常要捍卫个人自由，像是在13世纪，当时的领主试图要征税，那他的城堡呢就被当地人给摧毁了。后来在1457年呢，城里面新建了一所大学之后，这个城市就成了艺术和科学的文化中心，到现在仍然保有这样的地位。所以弗莱堡它不只是个集镇，也是个文化中心、学术重镇。好，那么课文单字 destroy 它是动词，表示破坏、毁坏、摧毁。那补充2个意思相近的动词 demolish。demolish 可以表达破坏啊、毁坏、拆毁、拆除的意思。那么 wreck wreck 可以表达撞毁、破坏的意思。再看下一个单字是 establish， 这个动词表示建立或是设立的意思。那这边一个重点，我们进入文法时间。好，来看这个重点是 make 加受词加受词补语，是表达使某人事物成为怎么样，变得怎么样。那么 make 在这边是指使成为、使变得。它的受词补语呢，可以是形容词或者是名词。我们来造2个例句。Dancing makes me happy， 跳舞使我快乐。这边我们是用 happy 这个形容词来当受词补语哦。 That album made her a household name. 那张专辑使她成为家喻户晓的人。那这边我们是用 a household name 这个名词来当受词补语。好，那么以上是这些讲解，同学别走开，马上回来哦。
Imagine getting happily lost among winding stone alleys in beautiful sunny weather, with a striking church stretching high above you and the sound of running water all around. If that seems like a perfect day to you, Freiburg should be on your travel list. Freiburg is located just on the edge of Germany's famous Black Forest, somewhat far from other German cities, but very close to the borders of both France and Switzerland. Known for some of the best weather in the country, it's surrounded by green mountains and has a river that runs right through the middle of town. The river is a popular place for taking a dip to cool off on hot summer days. The city was founded around 900 years ago as a market town. People came there to trade freely, and the locals' relative wealth made them proud and independent. They have a history of standing up for their personal freedoms and even destroyed the Lord's castle in the 13th century when he tried to raise taxes. After a university was established in the city in 1457, it became a cultural center for the arts and sciences, a status it still maintains today.
Hey everyone, I'm Jamie.
Hey, I'm Ian.
And today we're playing a game called Guess the Bear, where we each have 3 cards with words or phrases on them that we don't know, and we're replacing them with the word bear, so we have to guess what they are. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, 1 minute, let's go.
Okay.
1 word noun. We took a quick bear in the pool before dinner, and the newest sales report showed a bear in revenue.
Dip.
Good. All right, 1 word verb. Our office is bared in downtown Manhattan, and the police could not bear the missing child.
Find. No. The police couldn't. Say the first one again.
Our office is bare in
Located.
downtown. Oh, good. Yeah.
Locate.
Locate. Yeah. Good. 1 word verb. The company was bared in 1901, and he has bared himself as a great boss.
Founded.
Close.
He has bared himself as a great boss. Established.
Good. Yeah. Established.
Yay.
Yay.
All right. I got 3 of 3.
3 out of 3. You didn't have any phrases this time, so.
Yeah. No, the phrases are the things that are like actually really hard, you know?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So let's get women on the clock for you. Okay, ready and go. First is a noun. It's 1 word. The cafe is in a small, quaint bear. Don't walk down dark, unfamiliar bears.
Street. No, alley.
Yeah. Okay. Second is a verb. It's also 1 word. The fire bared a large part of the forest. The bombings bared the town in 1944.
Scorched or
Bombings.
burned.
The fire bared a large part of the forest.
Destroyed?
Yes, you got it. Okay. The third is going to be an adjective. It's 1 word. The model has bare good looks. The similarity between the twins is bare.
The similarity between the siblings is
Between the twins is bare.
astounding. What did I say? Striking.
Yeah!
Striking
I
similarity.
was just going to make like a...
Striking, yeah.
But I don't feel like I should be giving you too many clues though. You know? But,
That'd be good. Striking similarity. Yeah, that's
but I do feel like hand gestures and stuff like really help.
yeah. Okay. Well.
See you next time.